Thank you for joining me here on Twitter Think channel. In this video, I am taking the fifth example under this topic, and I'm taking very simple examples. And if you haven't watched the introduction to this topic, kindly do. You can subscribe to my channel, and if you have not, open the playlist Engineering Maths to locate these videos. Introduction to Complex Numbers Part 1 and Introduction to Complex Numbers Part 2. There are various examples under this topic that you can go through. So let's see what we have today. We have been given 1w square, and they are saying if these values 1w and w square are the cubic root of unity, find the value of 1 plus w square times 3 plus 2w plus w square. So this is the question given to us, and we need to solve this. So how do we find the value of w and use it to do the calculation? So all we need to do is to equate the whole question given to us to 0. So in your solution, we start by saying that let 1 plus w plus w square be equal to 0, or you can say w square plus w plus 1 should be equal to 0. Now this, we need to use the quadratic equation to solve, so we need to compare this with ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. So now a here is equal to 1. We are comparing this side. A here is equal to 1, and b here is also equal to 1. B is representing the value of this w, and then 1 here stands for the constant. So a is equal to 1, b is 1, and c is 1. So now we can use the quadratic equation to complete this. Let me name it w. So you need to keep this formula in mind. So I know the value of a, b, and c, so I can substitute it in. So I will say that w is equal to b is 1, so -1 plus or minus root of 1 square minus 4 into 1 into 1, all divided by 2 into 1. So this is it. And then we can solve this by saying w equal to -1 plus or minus, this will give us root of 1 minus 4, all divided by 2. So now when we work on that, we have w is equal to -1 plus or minus root of -3, all divided by 2. Now root of -3 here is the same as we write in w is equal to -1 plus or minus root 3 times root -1 all over 2. Now I'm just doing this to explain. So this simply means that root of -1 is standing for the complex notation I. So this is it. So I is the same as root of -1. It's in the explanation when you watch the introduction. So w is equal to -1 plus or minus root 3i. This I should not come under the square root. So this is it. So there are two possible values of the result for w. So there are two separate values for w. We have w1 being equal to -1 plus root 3i, and then w2 being equal to -1 minus root 3i all over 2. So we will use this to do the calculation. Now we can substitute the value of w into the function, and we have w1 was equal to -1 plus root 3i all over 2, and w2 was equal to -1 minus root 3i all over 2. Now you decide to pick which one you want to use to do the calculation. You can pick this one, so let's focus on this one, but I'll use both of them. I think you must use both of them, but it's not necessary depending on what the question is asking you to do. Let's now come back to the main question, and then let's say that let z be equal to the question given to us. Now let's work on this side first. When we finish, we work on the other one. So let's say that let z1 be equal to the first one, 1 plus w square. So we can work on this. So we have 1 plus, let's consider w to be the first result. We got the positive result. So we have 1 plus neg1 plus I root 3 all over 2. And we are supposed to square this. So we square this. And let me put everything here in one bracket. Alright, so now there's no need for you to worry yourself to solve this. You can just punch this on the calculator. So this is my calculator, and before I can do that, I'm working with complex numbers, so I need to change the calculator to complex mode. I don't know what type of calculator you'll be using. You need to check if it's in the complex mode. So to change this calculator to complex mode, I'll just press mode and select 2. So now it is in the complex mode. Now we can punch the whole function on the calculator. So this is my bracket 1 plus another bracket neg1 plus I. This is your complex notation I. So you press shift and then you press on it to activate it. So I have shift I root 3 all out of 2 all squared. That is what the question said. We should square it, and then let me close the bracket. Okay, so when I press this equal to sign, I have 1 out of 2 minus root 3 I over 2. Z1 was giving us 1 out of 2 minus root 3 I over 2. Now we can work on Z2. Let's assume that everything here is Z2. When we finish, we will take the result and multiply to find the final solution. So let Z2 be equal to, so this is giving us 3 plus, now don't forget we are working with, negative 1 plus root 3I all over 2. So that is what I'll substitute for W. So I'm having 2 multiplying neg1 plus root 3I all over 2. This side we are not squaring it, plus the same thing, neg1 plus root 3I all over 2, but this time you square the W. So that is it. We can simplify this side. This will cancel this. So I'm getting 3 plus, this will take care of this, neg1 plus root 3I plus, now let's punch this side on the calculator and see the result. So we have into bracket neg1 plus root 3I all out of 2. Then that is what I have. Then we square it. The result is giving us negative 1 over 2 minus root 3I over 2. So we have here neg 1 out of 2 minus root 3I all over 2. So now we can work this out. This will give us 3 minus 1 plus root 3I plus neg 1 over 2 minus root 3I all over 2. So that is it. This plus this will give us 2 plus root 3I plus neg 1 out of 2 minus root 3I all over 2. So there's no need, you just punch this on the calculator. So we have 2 plus I root 3, then adding to neg 1 out of 2, and then minus I root 3 out of 2. So that is it. We can now press equal to, and this is giving us 3 over 2 root 3 over 2i. Z2 is giving us 3 over 2 plus root 3 over 2i. So this is the value of Z1 and Z2. Now remember that in the beginning the question said find the solution for this bracket times this bracket. So the result for the first bracket, we named it Z1, which was equal to 1 over 2 minus root 3i over 2. And then the result of Z2, we got 3 over 2 plus this. So we need to find the total result, which is Z this time. So Z will be equal to Z1 times Z2. So finally, we can say that Z is equal to Z1, Z2. Note that if you are punching root 3i over, make sure you don't put the I inside the square root. So you can bring it in front, or you shift the cursor to the right side and then you input the I. So now let's punch the whole result on the calculator. We have one bracket. The first was 1 out of 2, and then minus root 3i over 2, so minus I root 3 over 2, bracket close. I multiply the result by 3 over 2 plus root 3i over 2, so I have 3 out of 2 plus I root 3 all over 2. So when I do this, the result is giving me 3 over 2 minus root 3 over 2i. So therefore Z is equal to 3 over 2 minus root 3i all over 2. And this is your final result. So now you also need to use W2 to do the calculation. We did this calculation with W1, this is W2, negative 1 minus root 3i over 2. So I want you to do this on your own. I'll give you the possible solution answers. You would first substitute the value of this into W. You work for Z1, get your result. Work for Z2, get your result. Multiply the final result, Z1 by Z2, to find the final result for this one. So when you consider W2, which is the negative, we are working for Z equal to 1 plus W square multiplying 3 plus 2W plus W square. So this is it. So let Z1 be equal to 1 plus W square. Substitute the value for this one here and punch it on your calculator. The result for Z1 will be giving you 1 out of 2 plus root 3i all over 2. So you check it out yourself. You fix in the value here. You work it out or you punch it on the calculator. This is the result you get. Then you work for Z2, which is 3 plus 2W plus W squared. So when you input the values inside, when you put in W2 here, so the result of Z2 is going to give you 3 over 2 minus root 3i all over 2. So this is the result for Z2 when you input the value of W2 into this equation. Now your final result will be Z will be equal to Z1, Z2. So the result for Z1, Z2, when you finish, you are getting 3 over 2 plus root 3i all over 2. So this is it. So I want to challenge you, go through this solution on your own. Z1 will give you this, Z2 will give you this, and the product of Z1, Z2 will give you this. That will give you the solution for whatever you have here, this times this. So if this video has been helpful, make sure you go over this example to get the answers correct, as I have done. In case you come across any error, Probably if I have done any error, you can correct it, kindly do, or you can draw my attention to correct it later on. My name is Daniel and I hope to see you here.